The calm after the storm, shoppers take advantage of small business Saturday deals.
And dry weather the past several days, but a possible storm brewing for next week. We'll tell you all about it with our full forecast coming right up.
Plus, the latest on last night's massive explosion in downtown Springfield.
Listen, we'll come back bigger, better, and stronger. Our concern right now is the people that have been affected. They get what they need. The business owners that have been affected, they get what they need.
Mayor Sarno there speaking on the resilience of his city after Friday's devastating explosion. Good evening. I'm Emily Voles. Thank you for joining us. The city and Columbia Gas are working with other state and local agencies to shrink the perimeter around the blast zone. A spokesperson for Columbia Gas says crews are still combing through the area by car and by foot. They're also poking holes in the cement to test gas levels underground. Right now, they say their system is safe.
We're in a monitoring mode right now, and we'll continue to do that through tomorrow, or as long as the city wants us to do that, to make sure that everything is intact. We're not finding anything at all in a multi-block area around the impact zone that concerns us or that we can say is attributable to the blast.
Columbia Gas will continue to monitor the area for as long as the city requires. The company says they are cooperating with other agencies during this investigation. When the sun came up this morning, the scope of last night's damage became quite clear. And today, ABC 40's Mike LaCrosse was the first reporter to get an up-close look of what's left of Scores Gentlemen's Club. Take a look.
All that's left of the Scores Strip Club is this pile of debris. Steel beams sit atop cinder blocks, wood, and concrete. Across Worthington Street, the explosion took out the bottom and top floors of this building. Part of the roof could be seen dangling. You can see just how powerful the blast was. It sent bricks from the building all over the immediate area, knocking this fence down here. And many of these bricks are still pretty much intact. Beyond here, they went past on the other side of the street, knocking into some of the other buildings nearby, smashing the windows. Now, besides a lot of these bricks, there's also a lot of other debris. You can find some lottery tickets and Keno tickets, presumably from inside of what was once that building. Blocks away, the explosion took out windows, sending glass everywhere.
It's pretty scary, actually. Pretty scary.
Joe Spano was downtown first thing this morning, checking out the damage. He co-owns this building on Pearl Street. Just the windows in the front on the corner here and on the side are blown out, and most of the windows in front of the bakery and the barbershop are blown out. Spano and his tenants spent the day boarding up and securing the building. This while Columbia Gas crews checked up and down streets around the blast zone. They're opening up manholes and drilling small holes every 10 to 15 feet to get a reading of the gas level.
We've been doing this continuously all night, and we'll continue doing it for through the weekend, actually.
Spokesperson Sheila Doran says they're also checking the gas line that runs from the street to the Scores building to see just what caused the explosion. She says the results could take some time. In Springfield, I'm Mike LaCrosse, ABC 40.
A spokesperson for Columbia Gas says the company received no previous reports of any problems in the immediate area. That's checking the records back to 2001. However, Mike spoke with a Scores employee last night, and she told ABC 40 she first noticed the odor of gas about 3 months ago. 150 residential units were damaged by the explosion, and the city is offering assistance for people who's lived in those homes. If you need some help getting back on your feet, stop by the Springfield State Office building at 436 Dwight Street from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. They'll have people on hand to answer your questions about housing.
Whether they need short-term assistance with food or other clothing or whatever they need to get them through the next few days, and then make their housing plans for what is happening over the next few weeks, if they're able to get back, and if not, finding replacement housing.
Again, that will take place at 436 Dwight Street from 10 to 4 tomorrow. You can also call the Red Cross at 737-4306 extension 6 or the Salvation Army at 733-1518 for further assistance. A lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty following last night's massive explosion. ABC 40's Stephanie Officer has more from local residents who are still trying to piece together exactly what happened.
The city of Springfield still understandably and visibly shaken up after Friday night's explosion downtown. If you take a look behind me, you can see windows of various buildings blown out. The roof here of this storage place partially collapsed. It's just a bunch of shock. People still confused as to what really started this explosion, and they're just looking at another recovery ahead of them. Are you nervous about being in this area today at all?
Yeah. Hello. Yes. Yeah, it's scary, weird. You know, you don't expect that kind of stuff around here.
A lot of people are like nervous, and, you know, they lost their place to live, they lost their cars, they don't have no home to live. You know, their families are scared because what happened, they didn't know what to do.
This is what now remains of SCORE's Gentlemen's Club. Quick thinking by authorities to evacuate led to not one person losing their life in the blast. Even Dennis Ledger, the executive aide to Springfield's fire commissioner, admitted to being rattled.
The debris started passing me and hitting me in the back, and I started running away from it. And when I looked back initially, all I saw was just the smoke from the parlor of the cement that had disintegrated. You know, you couldn't see anything. It kind of reminded me of that powdery look from 9/11.
Ledger said that 11 of the 14 firefighters who were on the scene at the time suffered burns or cuts to their faces, but are expected to be okay. A total of 20 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. During an earlier press conference, Mayor Dominic Sarno said that in the wake of last year's tornado and snowstorm, he doesn't want anyone pitying Springfield.
We're very resilient. You know, unfortunately, we've been through this before. We don't want to continue to become experts on these things. Their investigation continues.
Ledger says they are treating this whole scene as a crime scene, and folks are urged to stay out of the downtown area for obvious reasons, and they're still assessing the damage. Folks are still trying to figure out what exactly caused this blast on Friday night. In Springfield, I'm Stephanie Officer, ABC 40.
Early estimates put the cost of damage in the millions. The blast happened while many were celebrating the start of the holiday season just a few blocks away at the Quadrangle. In the age of cell phones, Springfield Museum's president Holly Smith Bove knew how important it was to get the correct information out quickly.
We're fortunate that we're tied in with security. Our security is tied in with the city systems and all of that. So we knew exactly what was going on. So I could check with my security guards, find out what streets are affected, you know, what we should do with our visitors. And so we were very fortunate.
Everyone participating in that event was able to leave safely. Well, another high roller may be placing stakes in a Western Massachusetts casino. After long opposing the idea of a casino in Holyoke, Mayor Alex Morse is set to announce his support for a plan to bring one to Mountain Park off Route 5. The outdoor summer concert venue is currently owned by Eric Schur, head of Iron Horse Entertainment Group. The move would be a change from Morse's position during his candidacy. Any developer interested in building in Massachusetts must submit their proposals with their $400,000 application fee to the state no later than January 15th, 2013. Again, the mayor will be holding a press conference on Monday. Be sure to stay with ABC 40 for the latest details. One person is dead following a crash on Boston Road in Springfield. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning. Police tell us an SUV flew off the road and hit a tree. The victim was ejected from the SUV. The vehicle then rolled on top of her. Police speculate there may have also been 2 other people in the vehicle who took off after the crash. At this point, those 2 individuals have not yet been found. 2 other people are critically injured after a crash on Orpheum Avenue in Springfield. That accident also happened around 2 o'clock this morning. Police tell us that both victims were riding in the same car and they are being treated at Bay State Medical Center. While some are still recovering from their Black Friday hangover, others are just starting to check items off their holiday shopping list. Today is Small Business Saturday, and earlier this afternoon, ABC 40 found plenty of shoppers keeping their money local at a pop-up shop in East Hampton. The one-day event featured eco-friendly art, jewelry, home decor, and clothing made by artists right here in Western Mass.
I think that it's a big tradition about Northampton and East Hampton and Florence that they are really good about keeping the industry local. I've been able to make a living off of doing that for myself for a couple of years now, and it's a personal exchange with the person that you're buying your product from, and it's a really nice experience.
Organized the pop-up shop event, Loop plans to hold similar events in the future. A popular country store and hangout in Hampshire County has been purchased by its loyal customers. 550 fans of the Old Creamery Grocery in Cummington bought the store for $1.3 million. The new co-op owners plan to expand and spruce up the 126-year-old creamery. All 26 employees will keep their jobs. Police spent the day at Walmart in Westfield, but this was no routine patrol. Instead, officers took part in Cop on Top, a fundraiser for the Special Olympics of Massachusetts. This holiday season, you might notice officers standing on the roofs of Walmart and other stores in the community. They say they'll keep climbing up until they reach their fundraising goal of $3,000. Today, Officer Richard Connor told ABC 40 this charity holds a very special place in his heart.
To as much money we can raise to help out these kids. They have a great time. My son loved it. He did almost every year of his life.
We'll be right back.
After the backfield.